Welcome back, everybody. We are back with you with another video. We do not have NFL news because the only thing that happened in the week that we were off was J.K. Dobbins signing with the Broncos.
Curse you, J.K.
So not a whole lot to talk about in the NFL. If you have a question or just an opinion that you want to ask, go ahead and ask us down in the comments. But for today, we got a cool video for everybody, right? We're going to do one of our tier list videos. When we do our tier list videos, you know that we are in the middle of the off season and there's not a whole lot going on. So we're going to talk about our rankings for how we see along the league. We're going to do coaches today. I think this is going to get pretty feisty. Since AJ's not on, let's go ahead and do that for 100%. I mean, if you make it to 2 Super Bowls and you don't win either one of those, I mean, we got to put you in F, right, Vincent?
Yeah, that's a true statement there.
All right. Well, I hear no one fighting back against this, so we're just going to move on now. But yeah, guys, we're going to do a tier list today. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. If you disagree with us, hit us in the comments, and we'll get at each other. So we're going to start off this with left to right, going from Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, former defensive coordinator for the Lions, and he is going on to be the head coach
of the New
York Jets. Thank you very much, Vincent. And he's got an interesting position there. The Jets have been bad for many, many years, have not made the playoffs in a long time. High expectations the past 2 years, didn't go anywhere. And now he's coming in with a new regime, a new quarterback in Justin Fields, and we'll see if he's able to turn things around. Trey's in the chat saying, so no AJ, he couldn't fix his computer. I have not heard from him. I think he's trying right now. He said there's a chance. But yeah, I really feel bad for his computer, man. Hopefully, prayers up to his computer that it gets saved. But let's go ahead and Aaron Glenn, he has not had a chance in the NFL yet. He ran a pretty decent defense with the Lions. I'm not going to say spectacular, but it shined in areas. But the one thing he got was the whole Danny Campbell thing of making sure your players are playing hard, which that defense definitely did. I'm going to place him in C, because I don't know what he's going to do yet, and I don't really have too big of aspirations for him either. What do you think, Vincent?
Yeah, I like him in C as well. I don't like the way he managed things when he first came in the door with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers, but when you run your organization like that already, with a guy who's very well known in the league, you know that stuff's going to get out there in the media. So wasn't a very smart move. They could have honestly just told him, like, hey, we're going to cut you. You don't have to fly over here. But they did the whole thing where, hey, come in. We need to talk to you, and we're not going to tell you why. So, yeah, I think I would leave him in C. If he didn't do that, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'd put him in B because I think he might be able to do something decently well with what he's got with the Jets. But
I hope so.
As of right now, yeah, C is good.
I would love to see the Jets come back. I love Justin Fields having a good chance potentially. I want him to have a chance so that the Justin Fields lovers like Vincent will not be able to say, "Oh, it's this situation." You know, I want him to fail on his own. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and just do the obvious. Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's an S tier. There's potentially a couple guys on here that may rival him, but at the end of the day, I think Andy Reid's going to end up on the tippy top of this list because of everything he has done, all the Super Bowls he's gone to, the sustained success that he's been able to build with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, honestly, you can't really fight it. I mean, he is one of the GOATs, to be honest. Everybody talks about it every single year. I know Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have done a lot, but when Andy Reid was with the Eagles too, he did pretty dang well. So Andy Reid is just a stellar guy, and at this point in time, even with what the Chiefs are going through, I think you can never count them out with what Andy Reid has. So I like it.
All right. Nice and easy there. We'll see if we can get anybody to top him later on. But let's go on to Ben Johnson, former offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, now head coach of the Chicago Bears. This is one of the most sought-after coaches this hiring cycle, and everybody wanted him. He ended up going to a really good situation with the Bears, who were not a bad team last year, just not the team that could get over the hump. And now he's bringing his offensive mind to the Bears. You know there's going to be some stupid trick plays the Bears are going to run because of this stupid guy. He ran a really good offense with the Lions. Will that translate into being a good NFL head coach? Those are two different things. Being a good play caller, NFL head coach. Very, very different. I would put him at top of C or bottom of B because he's proven a lot as a coordinator, but he's done nothing as a head coach yet. What do you think, Vincent?
Yeah, you have to say the same thing about Aaron Glenn. I mean, they came from the same system there, so I think he'll do all right. I think he's just in C because I don't think he's really of a head coach material at this point in time. Do I think he'll develop into a head coach? Possibly. But he's definitely handed a good team on a silver platter there. Obviously, it has its kinks and players who may not be the best, but it is what it is. I think he'll come out of it with a winning record as long as he can keep the guys there actually pretty good. So it's all in the hands of his quarterback there in Caleb Williams, and hopefully he shines in that new offense.
All right, we'll see what he's able to do. Hopefully the Chicago Bears stay terrible. Let's move on. I believe this is Brian Callahan from the Tennessee Titans. Am I correct?
I think it is.
I'm almost positive the two pictures I'm looking at look pretty dang similar. And if that's not him, I don't know who else it would be. So I'm going to say it's Brian Callahan, all right?
Yeah, it's definitely not Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, you know who Kellen Moore is, but
yeah. So he's been the head coach for the Tennessee Titans for 1 year now. He went 3-14 in his first year, but we all knew that they were going to be really bad. Now they have retooled in certain positions, and they have drafted hopefully their franchise quarterback and Cam Ward. That is his name, right?
Yeah, Cam Ward.
Okay, just had to make sure. So we'll see what he's able to do with all that. I think it's going to be very similar to the Panthers situation where it's not a good offense, not a good situation, and they're going to have another bad year potentially. So I'm going to put him, as far as a head coach, honestly might put him like bottom of C. What do you think, Vincent?
Yeah, I think that's where I would have him too. He's basically like a coach that is just getting his first year, but he's got some tenure now, basically. Everybody knew, like Reed said, that the Tennessee Titans would just be horrendous.
Whoa.
And they were. Look at those muscles.
Dude, why does he look so big
He's
right
so
now?
misty.
Oh my gosh.
Did you mist yourself?
Did you put oil all over yourself?
I think your mic's off too.
Your mic is muted, I believe.
It's okay. I'll subtitle for him. Hello, I'm AJ. I'm big sexy.
All right, well, AJ figures that out. Yeah, I think we're going to put Brian Callahan at the bottom of C. Yeah. Hopefully he's able to prove us wrong and get into the B category and make Cam. Oh, there we go. Okay, there he is. How are we doing, AJ?
Good. Doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. What do you think of our tier list so far?
Okay. So far, I really like it. Whoa, what the hell is that?
Nobody we had no rebutals. No one said anything when we put him there.
Really? Is that what we're doing? We're putting Kyle Shanahan as F.
I mean,
we're okay with that. I need to talk to the back office here. That's
all right.
Wow.
We'll put him last.
What's up, Brandon? Great to have you here, man. All right. All right, so we're going to head on to Brian Daboll, who had a really good first season with the Giants, made the playoffs, and these past couple seasons have not been so hot. With last season being an absolute dumpster fire, I thought he was going to get fired. Personally, I still think he's a good offensive mind. I just don't know if he's the guy for New York. What do you guys think of Brian Daboll?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So Brian Daboll, I think he's done a lot, right? I think he's done more than what was expected from him, and that's why he stole the Coach of the Year from Kyle Shanahan that one year, which is kind of stupid. Sorry,
he stole it from Matt LaFleur.
Shanahan came out second.
I don't remember.
Kyle Shanahan came out second, and Duval won Coach of the Year. And I, quite frankly, don't agree, right? I get it, right? You had a winning season. I think you made the playoffs. You got out first. You got embarrassed first round. You did it all with the bum of a quarterback. But he hasn't proven anything. And if this guy can confidently say that he has a job this year, then people like Kyle Shanahan, people like Mike Tomlin should not even be in the consideration of being on a hot seat if this guy's still employed for the New York Giants. So I'll put him as probably high tier C, low tier B at most. But I do think he's a good coach, but he hasn't proven anything in New York for the past 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, so I have him in C as well. The only reason he's so high right now is because not all the coaches are there. He is going to fall on that C tier for sure. Going 18-32 within the past 4 seasons there or something like that is horrendous. But then again, the New York Giants have always got the same carbon copy type of team that they get. They have a mediocre to a bad quarterback. And the only time that they actually were good was when Tom Brady was in the league and Eli Manning just had a chip on his shoulder against him. So that's about it. But Brian Daboll just has not done anything there. Not even a culture change. It's still the same Giants.
All right. We'll keep him there for now. We got up next is, I believe, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. And for me, this hiring didn't make sense to me. It very much felt like, we fired or got rid of Mike McCarthy last minute, and now everybody else is hired. We have nowhere to go, and we're just going to promote the guy who is already on staff. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. Very much felt like a Jerry Jones move. I don't really know where I'm going to put this guy yet. I want to hear from you guys first.
I mean, where can you put him? Is there a puppet category? Right? Where do we put this guy? He's a new head coach for the Dallas freaking Cowboys, a team that's been competitive for the past, 2 decades, right? A team that could possibly have gone far in the playoffs, but they couldn't have done it, right? This is a puppeteer team. You can't put a head coach in there and expect him to do well. You saw McCarthy. That was their best chance after not Jerry Jones. I forgot his name. Jason Garrett. Yeah, that guy was a horrible pick. He's not going to be anything but a pawn in this team. He's not going to do anything. So C tier is kind of considerate, but I guess we could put him there because we really don't know what he has.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys aren't a dumpster fire of a team right now. They've made some moves that are possibly going to make them better. But obviously, Brian Schottenheimer is – I don't like him, honestly. When he was over there in Seattle, I didn't really like him as a coordinator. So he's all right. Sure. I'll put him at the bottom of C right now. Again, we'll give him a shot at head coach, but I don't think he's going to be there very long.
Okay. All right. Next up is MCDC himself, Dan Campbell. This is a guy who's done tremendous things for the Detroit Lions, bringing them from one of the worst teams in the league, fighting for just a single win, to being the top of the NFL. Hasn't made a Super Bowl yet, but has made noise in the playoffs for a couple seasons now. I think upcoming year is going to be a real test for him without Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, to see if he's just one big dumb meathead or if he actually is a great head coach and not just reliant on coordinators. So we're going to find out a lot about him, but off of what he's done, I would have to put him A for the culture that he's been able to build for the Detroit Lions.
when it comes to coaching and ranking them, you also got to put the factor like Mike Tomlin and Kyle Shanahan that these players, they want to play for certain coaches, right? They don't just want to go to any team. They don't want to go to any organization. They want to play for coaches, just like when you work, right? You don't work for a company, you work for the people. And this is a prime example of physical players that want to win, that have grit, that have something to prove. They want to play in Detroit because of MCDC. So I have MCDC very high. Are his calls very aggressive? Yes, they are. Going for it and fourth down, cost some playoff matches. I get that. But you know what? I want a coach who's confident in us. I want a coach who's all in or nothing, and this guy has it. I'll love MCDC in any team that I support. So yeah, I think A tier is perfect.
Yep, I think A tier is perfect for his coaching style, everything like that. Obviously, he does make some calls that I would second guess, but if there was a tier here that was S tier for culture setting, that's MCDC because he has never wavered in his message. He says, "I'm here for you." He got emotional saying that I do this guy all this stuff for you. I come in the mornings early and I get ready for you. I work out with you guys for you, not for him. He's doing everything for the players because he just loves the game and the players that much. So if this was a culture setting thing, I think MCDC would be an S tier, but as a coach, he's done fairly well, had some not so good seasons, but also had some really, really great seasons. So pretty good coach.
All right. Next up, we got Dan Quinn, head coach of the Commanders. This is his second go-around as a head coach. First stint was with the Falcons, had that one incredible year. We went to the Super Bowl and ended up having that infamous game against the Patriots. He's now the head coach for the Commanders, and 1 year completely turned them around, took them all the way to the NFC Championship where they just came up short, and had an incredible year with Jaden Daniels. I love what he's been able to do in just a single year of changing that place from being a laughingstock, really, of the entire league to a team that everybody's decided about watching. So and for me, I would have to put him at top of B or bottom of A. I would need to see more of this in order to put him higher. What do you guys think?
I understand that this is a head coach ranking,
Okay.
but this guy has turned around organizations in the past without being a head coach. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. What is their defensive identity? What was it last year? Shit.
Yep.
It was shit last year. And what was the difference? They lost Quinn, right? Quinn did amazing things, took the Falcons to the Super Bowl. I don't care about the end result, okay? Taking the Falcons with Matt Ryan to the Super Bowl, that's a huge accomplishment right there as it is. You take him over there to Dallas, which I think he should have been the next head coach for Dallas, which didn't happen. Doesn't make much sense, but that's okay. You can't control Dan Quinn. He's not a puppet. Changes that defense, and then you send him off to a competitor with the Washington Commanders, and look what he did. He is making waves. I like this guy a lot. I think he's also a culture setter. B, high tier B is pretty cool with me, but I consider him as an A.
I'm okay with that. Vincent, what do you think?
Yeah, I love Dan Quinn. He had 2 stints with us in the Seahawks era, kind of with the Legion of Boom. He kind of helped create that. So I have a lot of respect for this guy. Obviously, he brought Bobby Wagner in to help him over there with Commanders. I thought that was a super good move. He's a guy that he's super familiar with. Helped draft him actually right before he took off, but he's great. Honestly, great coach. I think if we're going based on coaching style and the way that he runs a team as of schemes for the defensive side, everything like that, and how he treats his coordinators, I think he's one of the greatest coaches on this list. So I'm great with having him in A.
All right. I'm losing his name right now. I know it. It's Dan.
Mike Canales.
Mike Canales. Damn it.
Or
that was Dave Canales.
Damian Canales.
Wait. it's Panthers, right?
Yeah, Panthers.
Carolina. Dave Canales.
Dave Canales, yeah.
See, Vincent threw me off. All right. So I called this guy into question very early in the season last year when he sat Bryce Young. I said that's the wrong thing to do. Ended up working pretty well for him, and Bryce Young is looking on the up and up. Time will tell on the full story of his tenure with the Panthers. I can't say he's going to be great. I didn't see a whole lot of Panthers games. I have to be honest. Really wasn't watching those. I would have to put him maybe top of C, bottom of B. What do you guys think?
I think he has more to prove. It's a very young team. We saw them on the up and up towards the end of the season, so it's very exciting to see what they're going to do, what they're planning on doing. I will probably put him there at C because we need to see a full season with him and what he's going to do with that young team. What is he going to do with Young, right? How is he going to develop him? What kind of offensive scheme is he going to pull up to help his young quarterback, to help his young wide receivers, to help his young defense grow as a team, right? This is his career here. So, yeah, I'm going to put him high tier C just because we haven't seen enough of him.
Awesome. Another guy that was with the Seahawks, but he was great with us. He was a wide receiver coach, went to a quarterback coach, is basically a quarterback guru, I guess you can say, because he saved Baker Mayfield's career as well as an offensive coordinator when he was with the Bucs. But hopefully he can save the career here of the Carolina Panthers quarterback there, young dude. His name's still in my mind, even though we just said it. But yeah, obviously, I think Dave Canales is a great coach. Do I think he's in a B tier head coach? No, not yet. I agree with AJ. He has a lot to prove. But hopefully, as this young team, which is one of the youngest in the entire NFL, hopefully he can get some stuff cooking there. He's a great offensive mind, so I think he's going to do well later on in his career. So as of now, I'm good with C.
Trey says, dang, I miss Andy Reid. That was pretty obvious where he went. Yeah, me and Vince spent like maybe 10 seconds on that.
Yeah.
We just placed him up there and said, all right, we're good. This is about to go on a golf trip, it looks like. Jeez. Good for him.
Hell yeah, baby.
Another trip? Jeez.
It's got to be a lot of golf, dude. You better have a handicap of like 3.
Jeez. All right, let's head on to DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans came in with the Texans and has had 2 incredible years. Changed them almost instantly. Got him to the divisional round twice in the past 2 years, but have come up short. I'm going to put him at B. I don't think he's shown me that he's an A, but I do think he's pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about coaches that came from Seattle. Let's talk about coaches that came from San Francisco, right? Let's talk about some Niners coaches like DeMeco Ryans, which I absolutely adore. He played with the Houston Texans, so his heart is connected with Houston. I'm very happy that he landed there. I'm very happy what he's doing with the team. Yes, I do feel like he's part of the better half of the coaches in the league. So I am going to put him at B. Has he earned his spot in A? I don't think so just yet, but if he continues this route, even if you don't win a Super Bowl, if you continue this route, you're going to find yourself there as one of the top 10 coaches here in the league. Love what he does with that defense. I just wish he spent a little more time on that offensive line. That's kind of like where you're lacking there with CJ Stroud, his protection. But other than that, I love DeMeco. I think he's great.
DeMeco's he was a great player for 100% for sure. He's bringing that to the field. He knows exactly what these players are going through on the defensive side. Great defensive mind, 100% there. But yeah, he's a B tier coach right now. 20-14 in these past 2 seasons. Had a down year this past year, but still not a bad year. But I think he can definitely increase his stock going through with the Texans in these upcoming years, as long as they keep up the momentum. But we'll see. I'm cool with him being B tier, but yeah, I think he's closer towards the middle, if anything, at this point in time.
Let's go to some comments really quickly. Dizzle's going on a crazy weekend with taking off attorney Saturday, and then he's dog sitting. Good for you, man. His beard is looking beefy. Haven't shaved in 50 days.
We got to see it.
Yeah.
We got to see it.
Send
Last
it
time I
to
saw it, it was
Discord.
patchy.
Better be full, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what procedure did he have? He said he had a procedure last time, right?
He hasn't told us yet.
Maybe he got some beard implants.
Maybe.
Or some
He says it's slowly coming together. It's a lip filler. Y'all even have an F coach, y'all think? There will be one, at least. I have a couple in my mind. So
really?
We'll see. Yes.
There's a couple.
Says it's patchy. Oh, come on, man. All right. That's up is Jim Harbaugh. Don't really need to talk about this guy's resume. He's done it almost all. And he is going on for the Chargers this past year. He went 11-6, and he did that after all three of us on the offseason said that the Chargers for Jim Harbaugh were going to be a 2 to 3 year project of him turning it around. And he turned it around almost instantly. So I have even more respect for this guy after this past year with the Chargers. I'm probably going to put him – I honestly want to do S. If not S, top of A. What do you guys think?
Listen to your heart, Reed. Listen to your heart, okay?
All right,
put him in the S tier. Look what he's done, right? As I'm not saying this because he was a Niners head coach. I love him. I think that let him go.
Saying because he's a Michigan head coach?
Not just because he was a Michigan head coach either. Okay, I love Michigan. Go Blue. Y'all know this, right? But he's gone to the Super Bowl, right? Was done fully wrong with the Niners. So shame on the Niners. Shame on the GM at that time. Shame on the owners at that time. Goes to the college level, makes it to the championship, wins the championship, and now he's back in the NFL. Look what he's done with the Chargers. Look what he's done. I think he had a draft class here, right? He goes out there. Hampton is going to be huge. He's going to be a huge fit for that team. I love it. I love what he's doing. I love the head coach. He's one of those type of coaches that players want to come and play for. I think he's going to do amazing things for years to come. I have him as an S for sure.
I have him as a high A. I think he's a great coach for sure, but I don't think he's done enough as a coach in his lifetime to be an S tier type of coach. Again, hasn't won multiple championships, had to go back down to the college level because really nobody wanted to hire him. I'm not going to lie, but Michigan was ready to open him into their humble arms, and he did great with Michigan. I won't lie there. Did really great, but came back. Now he has a vengeance with the NFL because, didn't work out for him after they cut ties with the 49ers. I know he had a couple of teams that he was viable for after he got terminated there with the 49ers, but he ultimately chose to step down to the college level. He wanted to do more of developing of some players, and I think maybe a little bit of his coaching style too. He wanted to have a little bit more fun. So glad that he's back in the NFL, but I don't think he is deserving of S tier just yet.
Okay. We're going to let him in S tier as we outrank you, Vince. Before we get on with this video, let's go to hit some fantasy questions. Mr. Magic in the chat says, guys, if Jamar doesn't finish as number one wide receiver in points, who do you think has the best chance to? AJ, Vince, what do we got?
This is going to be kind of crazy, normally, guys who are in contention, you're looking at Tyreek Hill, which not going to happen. You're looking at Justin Jefferson, which I don't think is going to happen with JJ McCarthy. Could happen maybe in PPR leagues, but I'm not putting my money on that. Jamar Chase looks good.
I don't know, man. It's going to be hard to tell exactly who would actually do it. I was going to say CD possibly has a chance to resurge himself, but now that George Pickens is there, I don't think so. I think one guy that could possibly do it is Puka Nacua. If, he's not overshadowed by Devontae Adams, like some people like myself think he could be. But we saw him last year, even with Cooper Kupp, who is also an aging receiver now with the Seahawks. So is Devontae Adams. He's not all that in a bag of chips anymore. He's great for sure. But I hope that his presence gives Puka Nacua that chance to be the number one guy in the NFL because he's got that type of swagger to do it.
Or why don't we talk 2 years ago, right? CMC, Christian McCaffrey, come on, get it back on the train, dog. He's healthy. He looks good. He's working out hard. You see him in training camp. He's making those cuts.
About wide receivers. This is a wide receiver question.
Is it wide receivers only?
It says wide receiver one.
Basically a wide receiver and a quarterback, running back. He does it all. He does it all.
Scoping hard for McCaffrey.
It's my guy. McCaffrey's my guy.
Dizzle says when our mock draft starting, I believe it's next month. AJ, confirm?
Next week.
Next week?
Oh, no. 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Last week of June.
Mark your calendars. Right there.
Thursday.
All right. Quick rapid fire. Neighbors or Puka? Vincent, AJ, go.
You got to go Puka. I love Malik Neighbors, but I don't trust the quarterback situation there.
Yeah, I'm going Puka. He's the guy on that team. He has the same quarterback, everything like that. Again, it's just Yeah, Devontae's good.
He demands.
He doesn't demand that much anymore.
All right, let's get on to the other hardball. We got John over here. First hired by the Baltimore Ravens in 2008, has been the head coach ever since. Has brought a lot of sustained success there and led Lamar into multiple MVPs, had some incredible defenses over the years. I think I had to put him at the top of A against these other head coaches. I have a lot of respect for him. He's got one Super Bowl under his belt, has just come up short in a AFC that's been dominated by the Patriots and the Chiefs over the past since basically 2008 and before. So he's had tough goes because of just how top heavy the AFC has been. But he's consistently making noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, gonna have to agree there. I think he's a well-renowned coach. I think he's done great things. Has a Super Bowl under his belt. Yeah, I'll leave him there. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we like that Super Bowl for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, I have him in A2. I think it's pretty hard to put him above his brother, even though he's got that one ring, everything like that. But he's just the younger guy, you know. He's still got a little bit to learn. I feel like Jim is a little bit better of a coach than him, but I don't think John has that much better to go over Jim. So I'm going to leave him there in A tier. I would put him under his brother as well.
Who did he win his Super Bowl against?
Let's keep it moving, okay?
His brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
against his
what
brother.
was the team?
I swear, if you put Matt LaFleur over Kyle Shanahan, I'm bringing the same argument. I'm bringing the same argument here.
I haven't said anything yet. All right. We got. Which one was this one? Is this?
That's the horrible Gannon.
This is the one with the Cardinals, right? Gannon.
Yeah.
This is my F. This is my F. There we go.
Yeah, this is my F. Also, I don't even have to say anything.
I don't like anything that he does.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, I'm blanking on his name. New head coach for the New Orleans Saints. It is. It's Kellen Moore. There we go.
Kellen Moore. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Been an offensive coordinator for multiple teams for multiple years. And now he's finally got a shot with a team that's literally no coach wanted to go to. No one wanted to go there. They were begging, basically. I'm thinking I'm going to put him, honestly, I'm going to put him right between Brian Callahan and Schottenheimer. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, where else can you put him?
Yeah, he's just not really a good head coach, in my opinion. I don't know why I just get that vibe from him, but I just don't feel like he's head coach material.
So. He's in a terrible situation.
Yeah, he is. So it's not going to work in his favor at all. But
unless the Saints are ready to go through like a transition period, which they haven't been for a long time.
They're not.
They're kind of. It's going to be a couple years of being bad, and if they don't fire him right away, who knows?
Yeah, even if you were to put him on a really good team at this point in time, like if you were to put him with the Eagles or maybe the Lions or the Packers, a couple other teams out there, I still don't think he replicates what those teams did with the coaches that they have now. So he's not even close to being high in C tier.
All right. Nothing else? All right. Let's move on to the Minnesota Vikings head coach, Kevin O'Connell. As much as I wish this guy was an F tier coach, he's one of the few quarterback whisperers out there, and he's done pretty dang well. I'm either have to put a bottom of A or top of B. I'll let you guys decide. I wish he was terrible, but he's not.
I got to put on the bottom of A. I was one of the top tier coaches here in this league. I mean, if you could go that far with Sam Darnold, even though he was a direct product of Kyle Shanahan, you still got to give him some type of credit, right? You could take the scraps, you could take the food stamps, whatever it is, but calling the quarterback whisperer, I think he does very well in the position that he is and with the team that he has. So, yeah, I'll put him in A.
Yeah, KLC is a good coach. He's won a lot with the Minnesota Vikings, which is pretty crazy. You wouldn't expect him to do it, but he has. So I think he's good at the bottom of A there. I think there's going to be some guys in between him and MCDC by the time this is done, but he's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I believe he's won 2 NFL Coach of the Years. How has he won 2? I don't understand it. Personally, I think he's good. I wouldn't put him as incredible. I would put him at bottom of B. Personally, what do you guys think?
I think he's absolute dog water. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't like it. I don't think he's great. I don't know why he continues to get praised. Like, oh, Stefanski's one of the best coaches. He knows what he's doing. What has he done? What has he done? He's got the worst team in the freaking league, and now he's winning, 4 games out of the year? He went to the playoffs because of Joe Flacco. It wasn't really because of Joe Flacco. You made the worst decision, one of the worst decisions in NFL history by getting Deshaun Watson, and yet you're still looked at as one of the better coaches? No, I don't think so. No, I put him as C. I would have put him as far as S or F. I'll put him high tier C. Probably the top is number C. Number C. What the hell am I saying? I'm tired.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, if you put him in F, that's wild. He's actually not that bad of a coach. His record as of coaching with the Cleveland Browns, which is one of the worst teams in the NFL, is 40-44. So pretty close there to 500, and that's with the Browns. Obviously, we never see them go to the playoffs. We never see them have a stupendous type of season. That's Deshaun Watson now. I don't know. We haven't even said his name.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's a decent coach. I think he's like one of those coaches that gets you like through a season. But the reason that the Browns have kept him so long is because he's not a bad coach, and nobody else wants to go to the Browns to have their career die. So Stefanski is the best guy to have there with the Browns. It's crazy to see that he's been there for more than, I think it's 5 or 6 years, maybe even more. So it's pretty crazy.
He like, my boy Baker Mayfield, dude.
Your boy?
That's my boy, dude. It's day one.
The dog pound.
All right, who wants to hit it here? Who wants to do it?
Duval.
AJ, what do you got?
Duval.
That's pretty good. We got Liam Cohen. We got Liam Cohen, Duval. Like that was pretty bad. We know nothing about this guy. All we know is how messy of a breakup it was with the Buccaneers last year. They were feisty about it. It was like a high school breakup. I don't have super high expectations for him. I don't have low expectations for him. I think the Jaguars are going to be a just below 500 team. I don't think he's going to do a whole lot to change that. Where do you guys
They didn't do much in the draft. Yeah, I know you got Travis Hunter, the best guy in the draft. I'm not buying it. You guys know how I feel about that. But you can't get any worse if you're taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're not a bad team, but they just been horribly coached. Yeah, I'll put him in C because he hasn't proven much. Did you just put Shanahan to the front?
Why? Do you want me to put him in the back?
I'm just wondering why you put him in the front. We'll keep it moving. You go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, Liam Cohen is not going to be anything special. If he is going to be a winning coach there with the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's going to take a couple of years. There's a possibility that this year they end up being a winning team, but they're not going to be like one of those like 11 and 6 type of teams. It's going to be well below that. I think closer towards the 500 or below 500 is where I see them at. But if he's going to change the Jaguars, it's going to take him a few years.
All right. Let's go to Dizzle's comment. He says, hey, guys, I'm off the gummies and on the magnesium tablets. No gummies since Easter. Let's give a round of applause for Dizzle for being drug-free. Let's go, Dizzle.
Way to go, Dizzle.
Thank you for being drug-free, man.
Magnesium. That's what you and was it Renee telling me to get on? Magnesium?
Yeah, magnesium is pretty good. Helps me sleep better at night, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure I need that, dude. Sleep. I can't sleep at all.
AJ, those guns.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah,
Stop.
no. Sheesh.
All right. Let's go on, and we're gonna do the Packer head coach, right? So then give me you guys my spiel about Matt LaFleur, right? Now, at the very beginning, he was everybody was hating on him because he was inherited this incredible team. Aaron Rodgers was holding him up, et cetera, et cetera. AJ, I hope that's a really good book there. But he had incredible seasons, winning 13 games each of his first three seasons. Got Aaron Rodgers in his decline of his career to win 2 MVPs. And then when Aaron Rodgers moves on, or we move on from Aaron Rodgers, we have the youngest team over the past 2 years. And we've been able to make the playoffs in both of those years with being the youngest team in the NFL. We made some noise in the playoffs. This past year, not so much, but the 2 years before that, we beat the Cowboys and we gave AJ the scare of his life in the playoffs. He knows that's true.
Yeah, Vince was there. He
so,
saw it. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think Matt LaFleur has more than proven himself as one of the best head coaches in the NFL. I would put him over Kevin O'Connell. I wish I prefer to put him over Dan Campbell. I'll let you guys fight it out because obviously I'm very biased here.
Reed, when he first took over, I told you that he hasn't proven anything because of Aaron Rodgers, that he hasn't proven anything because of Devontae Adams. And then I told you 2 years ago that he's a pretty damn good head coach. And I think he's top tier in the league. I think he's part of the better half of the head coaches out there. I will put him above D'Amico for sure, just because he's proven it for a longer time. And I do feel like those young, talented wide receivers are very blessed and fortunate to have a young head coach who's hungry and who's able to teach them like LaFleur is. So I don't know if I want to put him the bottom of A or the first at B.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had him pretty high. I think that's high. Where do you have him?
Yeah, I was going to put him right there, almost tied with Kevin O'Connell. They have very, very similar records as of time with their current team. If you look at it, he's won about 2/3 of his games. So has Kevin O'Connell. Obviously, Matt LaFleur has been there a little bit longer. So that's why if you compare him, obviously, Matt LaFleur has more wins. But yeah, I guess, but in my opinion, I mean, I think he's better than Kevin O'Connell, so I'm fine with having him there. Do I think he's more innovative than Kevin O'Connell as the type of offensive-minded coach? I don't, but I think he's a better head coach. He can manage his team pretty well, even though he has some drama queens on there. They just lost one. So I think he's a decent coach. So, yeah, I'd have him right there. I think MCDC is a better coach than him, though.
He's a meathead. He's literally just a meathead.
No, he's better.
MCDC is more than just a meathead, Reed. Are you
meathead.
kidding me?
Just watch.
Dude,
watch.
This guy's hating hard. Wow.
All right, we gonna add him right there? You cool?
Yeah, I have him there.
All right, cool. All right, next up, this is
Come on, bro.
Is this the Seahawks dude?
Oh my gosh.
What?
This guy's a hater.
Dude, he's the most unrecognizable. He's the most unrecognizable face. Honestly, this is probably the first time I've seen his face.
Are you for real?
I'm being for real.
It's Mike McDonald. What do you mean?
There we go. Yeah, I've never seen his face.
You've never seen his face ever?
If I did, I instantly forgot about it.
That's crazy. It's because he's Mexican?
Sure.
You all should see Reed's TikTok page, his like For You page. Racist.
What?
Racist.
Not even close. It's all Magic the Gathering.
I like how all our coaches are back to back to back, though. It's good. It's very interesting.
How that happened.
Very interesting.
I have nothing to say. Vincent, take it over.
Mike McDonald's in B. He hasn't done enough yet. Obviously, he defied the odds of every analyst that ever talked about him and coming into being the head coach of the Seahawks, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think he's B. I think he's behind D'Amico Ryans because this year he could actually have a down year just because of the whole change at quarterback, different wide receivers going in a new direction. So I'm putting him behind D'Amico at B.
AJ?
Wow, dude. I think I'll put him behind Murr from Practical Jokers down there. But I haven't seen enough to properly rank him. So I really don't know if he needs to be at B or if he needs to be at C, just because I want to see more of him. Right? I want to see less. I want to see nothing of the Seahawks, really. But what does he have? What does he got? What are you pointing?
No, I like it. I like it.
There you go. Thank you. So I'm going to hand it off to you, Reed.
Okay.
Just like that. Good. Yeah.
I'll put him there. I have no thought about him. I haven't watched him enough. Obviously, I don't even know who he is to have a real opinion of him. So
it's true.
Okay. All right. Next up, AJ.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about this guy, or should I just put him back where we had him?
No, for sure. He's not going there. Okay. Obviously, I mean, this is the guy who I adore. I would not have, to be completely honest with you, maybe there's like 2-3 coaches that I would rather have than Kyle Shanahan. If the NFL went through a whole draft and you had to pick out your quarterback, he is still top 3 of who I want. I think he's very creative. I think he's very stubborn as well. He doesn't like to change out play style, especially if a player's out. As far as his creativity, he is known as an offensive guru, an offensive wizard out there. I'm putting him in A, right? I really want to put him in S. I think the thing that stops him from being in the S tier is that he's at home with no bowls, right? He didn't go. He didn't win a Super Bowl with Atlanta. He didn't win a Super Bowl with the Niners. But every single year there's a fighting chance as long as him and John Lynch are out there. I think we're built for success. I'm going to have him right behind Harbaugh in tier A. That's how much I praise him. I think a lot of success that we have, that the Falcons had, are due to Kyle Shanahan and the way he was mentored by his father, Mike Shanahan.
Vincent?
I think that spot's fine. I think he is a really good coach. I think he's a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach. Sometimes he can't handle his team, honestly, and the drama that goes on there. I think that's where I kind of knock him a little bit from being a superior S-tier coach, because if he could handle the team and just like get rid of guys who are just being little sissies, I think he'd be an S-tier coach, in my opinion. But at this point in time, it's just the management as a head coach for me. He doesn't discipline his players enough for when they're, being the way they are. We've seen it every single year. He gets stuff done, though. He drafts really well there with Lynch. So I have no knock on him as a player development, but I have a knock on him where it becomes of being a stern coach. And I think that's why sometimes they don't win the bowl, because it's not.
I think he used to be that way, but of course, I don't really think that he's not a stern coach. I think it's certain individuals who just get away with those things. We see Debo gone. We saw it with Ayuk, right? Ayuk's second year, his sophomore year, he actually did not play that much, actually at all, because he was in the doghouse because Kyle Shanahan got mad at him. But I would like to see a little more stern action, especially if players are holding out. But he does bring some good players like Fred Warner, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, and you don't have your tight end actually trying to fight you on the sideline like Travis Kelce.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
All right, I would place him right there as well. As much as I would love to hate on him or whatever, I do think he's a great head coach. I do think he's done a lot in this league. And this is his first year where there's been no holdout as of yet of someone complaining about their contract. So, hey, things are getting better there maybe in San Francisco. Maybe just because they've lost all their incredible players. Maybe that, I don't know. But Kyle Shanahan, I think he's okay right there, in my opinion. Next up is Mike Tomlin.
Ooh.
It's going to be a tough one because as of lately, it's just been 500 getting knocked out of the first round. Are we ranking as of career, or what are you doing for me now? What are we deciding right now, guys? Because everything else we've been just as of right now. Are we doing career or right now?
Either or, I'm putting in an A. Okay. I'm going to put him at A because ever since he took over the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was built for success. The team that he was given, elite. elite freaking team, and they lasted for him for a while. And as soon as he started leaving, yes, he's making playoffs, but just to get embarrassed in the first round, I don't think that's a win, right? Making the playoffs just barely because every other team sucks. That's I don't count that as a win. I think he's a great head coach. I think he's a team's player. But as far as being an S tier, if he could do it this year, then yeah, let's do it. I mean, but what can you do without an elite team? What can you do with look at this offseason. What did he do to address the quarterback situation? That was horrible, right? That lands directly on you, Tomlin. So I will place him at A, but I will have him pretty high. I think he's mid tier A.
Okay. I would put him right there, personally. As far as what are you doing for me right now, I still think he's incredible. Yes, this whole Aaron Rodgers thing is 100% on him. He's owned the decision making behind that. So you can put a lot of the blame on how there was so much uncertainty for so long, and not a better option if Aaron Rodgers did decide to just retire. I mean, you basically throwing the whole season away at that point. So I would put him at the bottom of A because of what have you done for me now. But as far as his career, honestly, if we were talking about career, I think he's an S tier coach.
Yeah, honestly, if it's S tier for me as of long term, I think right now he's probably bottom of A, just because he's a good coach, but his team sucks. Like every year I look at his team on paper, I'm like, oh my God, this team sucks. But he gets them there. So that's why he stays in the A category. If not, if he was getting, losing seasons, or, back when we had 16 games and one bye week and he was going 8-8, obviously then I'd put him in B, but he went 10-7 this past year. And I thought they did pretty good with the two quarterback situation they had. So I like him in A, but I'd put him behind Kevin O'Connell.
I'm okay with that. All right. This was talking about our next guy. It says Vrabel in A took Titans to playoffs with Tannehill. What do we think of Vrabel? Vrabel is getting back on his horse with the Patriots, the longtime team that he played for. Can he bring that Patriots juice back into the building after Belichick being gone? Will he be the guy to do it? Right now, I'm putting him on top of B.
I like him as B. I disagreed when the Titans moved away from him. I think he's a very good head coach. Another one of those coaches that players like to go out there and play for. Physical coach, just like MCDC. Probably not to that extreme. But do I like him as a coach? Yes. Do I like him for the Patriots? No, I don't. But I will put him at B, and I don't like him for the Patriots because I don't like what they're trying to do. They're trying to reset a culture, right? They had Mayo as a coach, didn't work out. So let's try it again with Vrabel, who actually has head coaching experience, which is a lot better option. But now it just kind of feels a little forced there. But I'm happy for Vrabel. I'm glad he has a job, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I just don't like that he's with the Patriots. Call me a hater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he's the better player of the two to actually be the head coach there. I didn't like the Mayo hire. I was very verbal about that in the beginning. And Vrabel, I like it a little bit better, but I would put him at the bottom of B because this team, again, has something to prove, and I think he can go up farther. But anywhere in B, I'm fine with. I think he's going to be a good coach there. I just don't think the New England Patriots are set and ready to be a good team just yet. They're very young, and they still need a lot of time to develop.
All right. Next up, we got AJ's favorite NFL coach, Nick Sirianni. This is a guy that I would love to jump on the train and say, oh, I think he's a great head coach. I think he's awesome. I think he's maybe a culture setter. I don't think he's an X and O guy. That's just how I think of MCDC. I think he's reliant on his coordinators to do the heavy lifting of pushing this team and coming up with the schemes for the team. I don't think he's an X and O guy. I would put him, this would be tough because he did just come off of a Super Bowl after making a Super Bowl 2 years ago. I would have to do that, maybe. I don't know. What are you going to say? AJ has a lot of thoughts. Go ahead and let him out, AJ.
He may not be an X&O guy, but I do fully believe that he is an a-hole type guy. I would definitely put him. Oh, I hate that he won a Super Bowl. I cannot.
Right?
I don't like it. I don't like it. He is I don't know. How much can I say here? How many words do we have left before we get, kind of like dinged here?
Joe the Smoke agrees with me.
Joke to smoke. It's a joke. Okay.
Whoa.
We're not putting this guy. I don't like him, dude. He's a simple-minded guy. Lost his coordinator. He gets lucked out by his players. He has AJ Brown. He has Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. He has a great defense. Great. Just leave him at A. I would have put him above MCDC. I think MCDC is smarter.
I was gonna say
That's saying a whole lot.
What a day. I was gonna say to put him below Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is a way better coach, X's and O's wise. In my opinion, Nick Sirianni is just like the face of the coaching staff. Like you said, Reed, he's not the guy who does it himself. He's not an X and O's guy. He goes out there and he tells his coordinators, make sure we make adjustments here. He's like, this is what I want to see. I do think he knows who to get the ball to, and I think that's smart of him. So he just has some really good players on both sides of the ball, and they draft so well. Even if they are at the back end of the first round in every single round, they're so good at just snagging the guys that everybody lets drop, and they're just so good in that house there. And I think that is a part of Nick Sirianni in the war room there too. But they're just a really good team. So I think he gets a little bit carried by that.
We got a great comment here from Jokes to Smoke. He says, "It's not luck when you walk away with the ring. When did y'all's, AJ?"
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, we get a banged up year and y'all are able to go to the big game. Congratulations. Okay. The last time y'all beat us was because Brock Purdy got out on the second play of the game. What happens when you have a healthy Niners team? What happens when you don't have people to bail you out? Well, I could go on and on. Ugh.
All right.
Let's make this easy. I'll send you the Addy dog.
All right. So let's move on to Pete Carroll, Vincent's former head coach. So I'd love to hear what he has to say about this guy. But dude looks as spry as ever as the new head coach for the Raiders. I swear to God, I feel like he just, like, whenever somebody's not looking at him, he just hits smelling salts. Because I don't know how he has the energy for a 70-some-year-old. I don't know where to put him, honestly. Vincent, tell me where I should go.
This is tough, to be honest. If we're going like his entire career,
Yeah,
I think he could creep into A, but I think right now, I think he may even fall to kind of like C if is what he's going to do this year. So if we're talking about like what is he going to do for me right now, I think he falls in the C tier. He has the Raiders. Obviously, they got Gianti, but they got Brock Bowers, and now they got Geno Smith coming from the Seattle Seahawks. I just don't think it's going to be enough. That defense is just not good at all. And even though they are signing guys and getting guys in the draft this past year that could help, I don't think it's going to be very good. And Pete Carroll needs a guy or a defense that is going to help him. So I'm going to put him at the top of C at this point in time. I wouldn't mind back of B either, but I just don't know how they're going to do this year. And if we're talking about his tenure now with the Raiders, I don't think it's going to be very good.
AJ, your old rival, what are your thoughts?
I have a different outlook at this. I'm not, basing him on what we are going to be expecting from the Raiders. I'm going out about how of a head coach he is and what I think he's going to be doing and what he is doing today. I love Pete Carroll. I hated him because he was with the Seahawks, but as a head coach, I have so much freaking respect for that guy. I mean, he's the one out. He took off his shirt when he drafted DK Metcalf. Yeah. How cool is that? That he's going out there. He's resting his defensive lineman in practice today, here over there in Las Vegas. I think that's freaking awesome. I think he's going to be the best coach that they had out in Las Vegas since they moved to Las Vegas. So I do have him as probably top tier B. I like him a lot. I think Pete Carroll knows what he's doing. He's the oldest head coach in the league for a reason, right? He's still there for a reason. And it was so hard for Seattle to let him go for a reason. So I have a tremendous respect for Pete Carroll.
I don't know about him being the best since they moved to Las Vegas. There's a certain guy that always just makes me feel nicey. That's neither here nor there. Let's go to. I always forget this guy's name. I don't know why. It's the Bills head coach. Why am I blanking?
It's like no, it's a weird name, right?
Hold up.
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott. Thank you, Vince. This is why we have you here, man.
I love the memes.
His team's always great. His team's always great.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
They're pretty good.
He has a good quarterback. I don't like his play style. I don't like what he allows the defense to do. I don't like what he allows the offense to do. I don't think he's a great head coach. There was memes back in the day where it was I don't know what coach it was, right? It was like, you want to see me ruin this franchise, and then you saw him say, hey, "Hold my beer," right? And he jumps off and slams it to a table. It was a meme, whatever. I think it was a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach at the time. But as a head coach, I don't think he's that great. I think he's getting lucked out from Josh Allen. That guy's a stud, and he has some studs out there defensively, but the play style, the schemes are just not it. There's so many times where you could have gone out and beaten the Chargers, could have gone out and beaten the Chiefs, but you did it because I feel like you played yourself, right? You didn't play to your best ability, and you have a 3-man rotational backfield when you have James Cook, who's just been absolutely killing it and wants to be out there in the field and has the energy to be out there, and you just choose not to. Because why? I have no idea. You're one-dimensional. When you're in the goal line, you know it's Josh Allen. You know he's going to run it in there. You don't pass the ball. You don't run the ball. You run with Josh Allen 3 times in a row. It's just, please don't. So yeah, I will put him at B. I'll put him behind D'Amico.
I'm D'Amico. Vincent, where are you thinking?
Yeah, I think right there is pretty good. I agree with AJ. I don't think he's a very good coach. If you look at his record before Josh Allen came in, it was horrendous. He was not a good head coach. But when Josh Allen was there, I mean, obviously, instantly, once he was already in the starting lineup and, playing the way he has been playing, like an MVP almost every single year, in and out, he's really good. So I think he is boasted by the team that he has too, but I don't think it's him behind the scenes really calling those plays and making the difference as a head coach. I think you could put somebody else in his shoes, and maybe they might even beat the Chiefs. You don't know. It could be you put anybody from A tier with the Bills, and maybe they have a Super Bowl already. Maybe
it's a fair thing to say.
So, yeah,
all right. Sean McVay won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. Where are we putting him? I would place him because everything that he's done, it's either one above Shanahan or right below Shanahan. That's where I'm at.
Absolute snake, dude. If you put him above Shanahan, I want to lose my absolute shit. But you know what? He won a Super Bowl, right? Like, you guys might say, like, hey, I'm a hater. I hate on certain teams. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I call it how it is. Okay, so same thing with Sirianni. I call it how it is. McVay, he's a great head coach. He is. Do I like that he's above Shanahan? I think Shanahan's a better coach, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, he was able to I'm trying to let it come out. He was able to win a Super Bowl. Okay. Stupid Jaquiski Tart, dude. All you have to do is catch the damn ball, and that's it. That's game. We go to the Super Bowl, we beat the crap out of the Bengals, and that's it. It's idiotic. Okay, I hate that McVay's out there. He's a snake. I say that because he stole Matthew Stafford from Kyle Shanahan. There's a whole story behind it. I won't explain it here, but it doesn't stop there, right? Jimmy Garoppolo is banging your wife, McVay. So just wanted you to know that if you're going to put him above Shanahan, so be it. So be it.
That's it. What do you got to say?
I mean, he has been there as the head coach as long as Shanahan has been. He has a better record. He's won a Super Bowl. I think he's also a great offensive guru as well. I think that's why they win. He's competitive. Obviously, I think he's a better coach than Shanahan just because sometimes the Rams have not had the better defense. Yes, they had Aaron Donald, and they had Jalen Ramsey at one point in time, but Jalen Ramsey, I don't classify him as a stud as of the level of what sometimes the Niners have on their defense. Obviously, there are some holes everywhere. You can't have perfection at every position, but I think that Sean McVay has done quite well as a coach. If I could tie him and Shanahan, I would, even though he has a ring over Shanahan. But I just feel like Sean McVay is a very, very good coach. But I don't mind him being above him or below Shanahan. I just think he's one of the top coaches in the NFL right now.
They are now combined.
They don't look that bad,
All right. We're gonna play some one above Shanahan. All right, AJ.
One above Shanny.
Just one above. The floor's all the way back here, man. I'm not saying anything.
Because Shanahan has them.
So as far as personality and as a human being, I would like to put this guy right here.
The hate, dude. The hate is crazy.
From Bountygate to how he treated Russell Wilson. Not a fan of this guy as a human being. But as an NFL head coach, I'm not okay.
Russell Wilson's a weirdo, dude. What do you mean? How
so
he treated him?
He's throw him off through the streets.
Throw him in the streets.
He did to him, man.
He played like crap there.
He was playing decent that year
because of the system that Sean Payton put there for him.
Listen, as a human being, I'm just saying that. As an NFL coach, I think he's great.
Dude, just because he
Bountygate was horrible.
It was for sure.
Okay. Can't
fault you there.
We could agree there.
I don't think you should have a job in the NFL because of Bountygate.
The way he left the Saints, that was pretty effed up.
Yeah. Just retired, and then once there's something nice coming along, say, "Oh, trade me over there."
But he has some balls going out there and telling Russell Wilson, right? You get your team 3 guys out of here. This is my facility. You're not going to be running this. I don't care. We're going to turn something. We're going to turn something from nothing here, okay? And by the way, I don't know if you ever seen the movie that was based off of him. It's a great movie. So I'm adding points just because the movie was that great.
I take away a point.
But you guys not going to believe this. You guys never do, okay? Through my line of work, I meet a lot of people. I actually met the wife of a former NFL player who played for the New Orleans Saints. And says Sean Payton is an absolute a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And absolute doesn't care, right, about personality unless you're one of those big names, unless you're Drew Brees or whatever, right? Absolute a-hole. So, yes, I will put a little bit of a factor of personality in there. Head coach-wise, look what he did with the Broncos this past year.
It's been great.
That was phenomenal.
Yep.
You got to give him some brownie points there. I will put him in A, but I'll leave him at the very end where Sirianni should be.
That's it. What do you got?
I would even say he goes down to B. I think he was a better head coach there with the Saints. But he's doing good. I think the Broncos team is just very underrated at this point in time, and I think he adds a little bit of depth there too. He is a great coach for sure. But yeah, he's an a-hole, and that's what I've heard too around the league basically. If you look at like the coaching days when they go out there and they take their picture and everything, he doesn't interact with a lot of coaches. So he has his select few people that he talks to, and then he doesn't talk to anybody else, and nobody wants to talk to him either. I wouldn't mind Sean Payton being in B at this point in time. Longevity-wise over his career, yeah, he's an A-tier coach.
All right. Let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts head coach, Shane Steichen. Just want to quickly say rest in peace, Jim Irsay, one of the best owners in the league. May he rest in peace, and hopefully his legacy carries on through his daughters. But Shane Steichen hasn't really impressed me. I think he's just been dealt horrible quarterbacks. I don't know if that's him or the GM that's been putting him in that situation. But I don't think he's really anything at all as far as a head coach. I forget if he was the offensive or defensive coordinator off the top of my head with the Eagles. But whatever it was, has not really translated well over with the Colts. Offensive coordinator, thank you. That's what I thought. So personally, I'm going to have to do this right there underneath Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn.
Can't knock you on that, but I mean, you were struggling for quarterbacks and you don't even make a move for Trey Lance. That's an automatic C for me, of course, right? What is he going to do with that team? I think that team's horrendous. I thought the draft was horrendous for them. I don't like anything that they have done. I don't like anything that they're doing. I don't think they're going to do anything that I'm going to like. So, yeah, I will put them at C, and I think that's pretty generous. I'll literally put them right behind Duval, okay, just because I like the way he says it. But, yeah, don't have a lot of high hopes for that team.
Yeah, I think this year he might even be on the hot seat. He hasn't done horribly. We've seen coaches do a lot worse and keep their job, like Dabble. But he's just not a good coach in my opinion. Obviously, he's been dealt a bad hand with the quarterback situation, and that's why they just cannot win. But we've seen him put in an old guy at the quarterback position and win games. And win them in pretty good fashion. I'm talking about Joe Flacco there, but yeah.
He also lost a lot of games.
Yeah, he lost a lot of games for sure. But that just shows that he's not a good coach. It's not up to him if they win or lose, depending on who's there at quarterback. It just means that he's just an average coach, and I think he's a C tier. I wouldn't mind him moving a few spots down. I don't mind him moving a few spots up. I think everybody there is pretty much unproven or just have not proven anything in their time there.
All right. Next up, we got the Buccaneers head coach, Todd Bowles. Where we're going to place him has really done pretty well for the Buccaneers, for our guy Baker. I've been there for Baker since day one, AJ day two. But Todd Bowles.
Hate is crazy, dude.
I think I'll do this right here in the middle of the. That looks so bad.
I'm a Baker dude. That's what I do, man. All right, I put the bandana on. But where'd you put him? I
put him in the middle, right next to D'Amico.
Ooh, that's kind of crazy, dude. I mean, you get a team that's freaking stacked. You get new Baker Mayfield on there who's willing to put his life on the line for a team. Yeah, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, who's on his way of being the best wide receiver in the league before he got injured. I'm not the biggest fan of his when it comes to I think he's a great guy. I think he's a decent coach. This guy's magnesium's kicking in. Hey, bro.
Pass it over.
Wolverine. What's that called?
What?
Titanium? What's
adamantium.
Was it vibranium?
Adamantium.
Yeah, adamantium is with
yeah.
Wolverine. Vibranium is with Black
Panther.
Yes.
Oh, I'm grabbing. Okay, so Todd Bowles is great. Putting him right now that I'm seeing who's behind Todd Bowles, I can't really disagree too much. I like it. Just leave it there.
Okay.
Good.
That's it?
Yeah, I think Todd Bowles is in that spot right there. He's a good coach.
Yeah, great.
He could be better. Again, it's just a situation he was dealt. Obviously, he got Tom Brady for a little bit, and then now he's got Baker after a few quarterback stints. But I don't think it's bad. I think he's a decent coach, and I think he's going to be a coach there for a little while. So could get better. You never know.
All right. Next up is Zach Taylor, who looks very similar to the Seahawks head coach. That's why I wasn't sure.
There's no way.
It's almost the same guy. Am I wrong here, AJ?
Not at all.
Am I wrong?
They kind of look alike.
It's the same picture.
They kind of look alike.
Look. I'm gonna put them right next to each other. It's the
one
same
has
dude.
One has black hair, one has red hair, bro.
It's the same dude.
This is
That's why I got
blasphemy.
confused, okay, guys?
This is blasphemy.
All right, where do we put Zach Taylor? Has gone to the Super Bowl, was a play away if the offensive line would have held up. I think he's a good head coach. I think he's done a lot. I don't know where to put him with all these other head coaches, though. I'm kind of blanking here. Maybe right there? Right below Sirianni?
I think that's way too high.
Yeah, I don't think he's a good coach, to be honest.
Oh,
No,
wow.
not at all.
Okay.
I don't have
Going
him
down
in
here?
at all.
Yeah, I have him like below Todd Bowles, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like I already forgot.
Stay with
his
your
name
chest,
again.
AJ. Stay with your chest.
I feel
Sean
like
McDermott.
Sean McDermott. I feel like they're in the same boat, right?
All right.
Taylor's a horrible coach, dude. He doesn't know how to draft. He doesn't know how to prioritize. He's losing his first round draft pick because he doesn't know how to handle the situation. He lucked out with Joe Burrow. He lucked out with Jamar Chase barely because he was ready to leave last year. He lucked out with T. Higgins because he was ready to leave this year.
They didn't let him leave.
That's another. He didn't let him leave. But what is it? How prioritize? What's important? What's in the trenches? That is the difference between you and having a championship team because you have the stud players, you have the drive in there. You don't have a defense. You're slowly building it. You don't have an offensive line. You're not building it. It's insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Whenever we think about the Cincinnati Bengals, what do we think of? Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Sometimes sprinkle a little T. Higgins there, but that's it. That's all you got. So no, I do not think he's a good head coach. His play style is horrendous. His drafting offseason horrendous. It's all just bad. That's why I think they're in the same level. I'm going to put him behind McDermott because I wouldn't even put him ahead of Pete Carroll. I had that much respect for Pete Carroll. I would hate for him to be above him. Sorry,
There you go. Yeah,
my bad.
That's pretty good.
AJ or Vincent, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think. I think he's like a one-trick pony, to be honest. He relies a lot on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow to get it done in the time of need, which is, I mean, I guess you can call it smart, but everything else he does not have a grip on it. So he's an offensive coordinator. I haven't really seen anything like creative from him there. Obviously, it's just like, hey, Jamar Chase is out there, get him the ball. He's going to have some yak yards. He's going to save us. T. Higgins, the same boat. He's going to save us. Look at a lot of the yak yards. Very good route runner. And then he's got pretty lucky with like Yoshi Voss and like another tertiary receiver before that. Tyler Boyd, I think it was.
Tyler Boyd was very lucky. They lost him.
So he's always been lucky with just stacked wide receivers. And I guess that's why he prioritizes offense, because he's an offensive-minded guy. But if he was a good head coach, he'd also know that, hey, these guys are coming up on contracts that are ending. Let me trade these guys away to get some defensive pieces and just keep Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And I think he could survive with drafting wide receivers and getting them on super young and easy deals instead of franchise tagging T. Higgins twice. I know that the Bengals and their organization and the fans would be like pissed off on them trading away T. Higgins, but if you're a head coach and you want to actually try to win and get back to the Super Bowl, I think he needs to cut ties with some of these guys besides Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and just have them take up 50% of the cap space, and then you put the rest on the defensive side and hopefully get some young offensive linemen to the draft. But he just hasn't done it. I don't know if it's GM and the owner, above his head or something, but he hasn't stuck up for it and tried to get those guys where he wants them. So I don't think he's a good coach.
All right. Very well said. We'll keep him at the bottom of B. I don't think he's C tier. Let's move on to McDaniels. Now, this is a guy, as a person, I really like. I think his press conferences are hilarious. He's so funny. I think he's a great offensive mind. What he did with that Dolphins against the Broncos that one year when they scored like 70 points in that one game, he has a great offensive mind. I don't think he's a good head coach. How he ended the season last year with a press conference saying he doesn't know how to control his own guys, that people are showing up late for meetings and he'll find them and they literally don't care. They're fine with being fined. He has no control over that team. Tyreek Hill has all offseason has been tweeting things about how he wants to leave, on live streams saying that he wants to leave, happy if he got traded. I don't think he has any control over that locker room. Great offensive mind. I think he's a great offensive coordinator somewhere. I don't think he's a good head coach. I'll put him at the top of C. What do you guys think?
all gas, no brakes. You know what I mean? It's literally what he goes off by with the Miami Dolphins. I like what you said, Reed, because I was going to say the exact same thing. Offensive mind, yes, right? But it's like you could be a great basketball player, but you're in a wheelchair, you know? And that's how I think of it. He is not a head coach to be able to put those things together, but he he can't draw, but he could color. You guys catch my drift here? Okay, he could be a great offensive coordinator, but he is not a good head coach. He does not know how to handle it. Right? They literally lied that one year where they said about a ping pong table. They snuck one into the locker room, whatever it is. But he was great with the Niners because he was offensive minded coach with a head coach like Kyle Shanahan. But him taking the reins, I'm not going to dock him too much. I am going to allow him to gain a couple more years of experience. Maybe he should go back to coordinating to learn underneath a strong-minded head coach.
Get older, get more experience.
Exactly. I would love to see him with someone like MCDC, someone who's very aggressive, stern, that people have the respect for him.
I don't want that. Never mind.
He has the that would be insane.
That'd be so awesome.
That would be gross.
Do that.
It would be so good.
But you can go back to the Niners.
I'm talking about, I'll love him back with the Niners, but I'm talking about the type of head coach that he is, right? Very stern. People love him, but people love him out of respect. People love McDaniel because he's funny. He's their friend, right? He's their friend. They hang out. That's not it. That's not how you could coach out here. I would have put him at C because he has accomplished a lot with the Miami Dolphins. I would put him low tier B.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't mind low tier B either. I think he's a great offensive minded coach, honestly, but he's not a boss. He's not somebody that can be a head coach, in my opinion. He does well because sometimes they win, and they had a good season a couple years back. But since Tua's gone down, we've seen it just be a dumpster fire. Everybody wants to leave. There's no motivation. There's no drive on this team. It's just like, hey, if we win, awesome, we're doing great. If we lose, I don't know what the heck to do. I don't know how to control my guys. I don't know how to keep them fired up. He doesn't have that it factor as a head coach. He has the it factor as an offensive play caller because he can call up some pretty good things and put 70 points up on a team. But again, he's just, in my opinion, not a very good head coach. So he's a guy that's been there for 3 years and still has something to prove.
All right. Just want to say one good thing about him because I dig dog him a whole bunch. One thing I really did like that he did was how he boosted Tua's confidence as soon as he became the head coach. From everything we've heard from Tua of how he boosted his confidence, showed him what he's good at, showed him how to stay positive. I really love that. I think what he did with Tua has been great. He just needs Tua to be healthy, and he could do a lot more if Tua was just could stay healthy for a whole season and not get concussions, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right, we're going to end this off with the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Raheem Morris. This is a guy I don't really have a strong opinion about because last season was kind of weird with Kirk Cousins. I imagine he was a part of the signing of that. But you got him for all these years now, and no trade clause is a typical Kirk Cousins contract. And now you've moved on. You have him as a backup role, and you have Michael Penix as your new guy. And I don't know how I feel about the Atlanta Falcons trajectory. If I had to do anything, I would probably put them in between the Panthers and Giants head coaches right there. And that's as high as I would put them, potentially lower. What do you guys think?
This is the same guy that got embarrassed on national television, right? Where the owner came up to him and said, "What the F are you doing?" after he drafted Penix.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
F. Yeah, he's not going to have the worst team. He's not. But that was boneheaded move. Boneheaded.
Yeah, I was going to say F based off the Kirk Cousins deal. But yeah, with that too, I mean, obviously he got his guy of the future, hopefully. So maybe it's not a boneheaded move after that, but he pissed off his owner for sure. But I don't know. 8-9 this past season, a whole bunch of dumpster fire stuff happening for the Atlanta Falcons. I wouldn't mind him in C, but I just don't think he's a good head coach. I think that was just because they have Bijan Robinson. They have a couple guys like Drake London who went off. They had Ray McLeod who went off. Yeah, like they went off. They're just good offense, but obviously Raheem Morris, not an offensive guy. He's a defensive guy, and their defense is, for lack of a better word, one of the crappiest defenses in the league besides the Bengals. Defensive line sucks. Linebackers suck. They have some okay cornerbacks, but they suck. So this guy being a defensive coach just doesn't show that he's a good head coach. It's just they have a good offensive coordinator.
All right. Well, I think that just about ends it. What do you guys think? Is there anything else you wanted to switch, alter before we end off this episode? I feel pretty good about everything, honestly.
If you had to pick one guy who will not be a head coach next year, who would it be?
Oh God.
All right.
Let me go through this.
I mean, both F tiers have a decent chance. I would say Stefanski for one.
I might
NCDC.
even this guy. I might even say Shane Steichen might be out, and it won't even be his fault. He's coming up on his third year here, and if they have another crappy season, I think they might want to go in a different direction, especially after the owner change up. They just might want to go in a whole new light here. So that's my dark horse guy of who might get fired.
I think this might be it for Duval.
I was going to say him as well. We'll see what he's able to do.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. I'm going to take a picture of that and send it in our Discords to see all of our little fans go crazy. You know how they sound. I know Raves. That's exactly how Rave sounds. You know.
Oh yeah, the dude hasn't hit puberty yet.
I mean, we literally have his head coach all the way down here, so you know it's going to get him.
He's gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah. But let us know down in the comments, guys, if you disagree, agree with us here, or you can just join our Discord and talk about it there. But we appreciate all you guys tuning in. It's been a great, one of our longest podcasts in a while. So everybody who's stuck in there the whole way, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for everybody who's commented. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It helps us a lot. And if you're feeling generous, hit that sub button. Helps us even more. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, next Monday, 7 p.m., keep on grinding.